Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories tracking for you on Thursday, the 9th of July. BRICS nations make new development bank official at the summit. Indian Supreme Court transfers recruitment scam probe to CBI. And POK Prime Minister warns Islamabad against granting provincial status to Gilgit. And now for all the details. The BRICS nations on Thursday officially launched its new development bank. Addressing the 7th BRICS summit in Russian city of Ufa, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for greater cooperation between member countries in fields of economic and skill development.
Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, or BRICS countries, made its $100 billion new development bank official on Thursday during the 7th annual summit in Ufa. Founded in 2014, the bank is now expected to be pitted as a direct competitor to the likes of the World Bank and IMF. The bank, which is targeting its first loan approval by April next year, is focusing mainly on developing economies. Addressing the BRICS Business Summit in the Russian city, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed an annual trade fair to boost trade. He also stressed on the importance of strengthening economic ties between member nations at a time when the world economy is facing turmoil.
BRICS economics के बीच सहयोग को घनिष्ठ करना बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। हमें विश्व के अहम विकसित क्षेत्रों के साथ ब्रिक्स बिजनेस एंगेजमेंट को भी मजबूत करना चाहिए। मेरी राय में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, अर्बन रिन्यूएबल, एग्रीकल्चर सप्लाई चेन्स, वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, क्लीन एनर्जी, अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग और पूरे ब्रिक्स में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सप्लाई चेन्स से हमें कारोबार के अवसर और अर्थव्यवस्था दोनों को ही ये लाभ प्राप्त होंगे।
The BRICS nations account for 40% of its population. It also makes up 21% of global GDP and has a combined foreign reserves of an estimated $4.4 trillion.
In the meantime, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held key bilateral talks with the leaders of BRIC nations on the sidelines of the summit. He raised important issues concerning India's relations with its partners.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi parleyed on various issues with co-members on the precursor to the BRICS summit. He sat around the negotiating table with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Ufa, where both the sides vowed to enhance strategic cooperation. The country heads agreed on joining hands to promote the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank as well as Bangladesh-China-India-Myanmar Economic Corridor. One of the key issues that Prime Minister Modi raised with President Jinping was China's support to Pakistan at the United Nations on the issue of the release of 2008 Mumbai terror attack mastermind Zakir Rehman Lakhvi.
Yes, the issue did come up and Prime Minister did raise our concerns and it was discussed in some detail and we expect those discussions to continue between the two governments. As regards to any bilateral meetings that the Prime Minister will have in Ufa, we will confirm those meetings when we are in a position to do so.
Prime Minister Modi also met Russian President Vladimir Putin. Both the leaders discussed on the potential of the emerging economies besides a range of other issues.
Meeting between President Putin and Prime Minister was a very positive meeting in the sense a lot of things have moved since December. The reason why that meeting went on for 90 minutes was really that they went down a very, very sort of long list of issues in fairly great detail, and the overall sense was whether if it was civil nuclear, whether it was space, whether it was trade, whether it was defense. I mean, pretty much in every sphere, you know, the two sides have been working very hard.
Prime Minister Modi will also take part in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit on Friday, where he is likely to meet Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. This will be the first formal meeting between the two country heads after May 2014.
The United Nations has welcomed direct talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Many in the war-torn nation, however, believed it would require a long process towards reconciliation between the two sides. A report.
Urging both parties to move towards the process of peace, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and his special representative in Afghanistan, Nicholas Haysom, on Wednesday said locals wanted an end to the pervasive Taliban violence in the country. The Secretary General reiterates his support for an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned peace process. He expresses his appreciation for the commitment of the parties and the constructive role of the host, Pakistan, the world body said in the statement. In what is seen as the initial step towards reconciliation, the Afghan government and the Taliban met in Pakistani capital Islamabad on Tuesday. This was the first time the two sides publicly acknowledged of holding formal talks. Unconfirmed reports of similar meetings in Qatar and China have been doing the rounds in the past too. Calling it the start of the first ever official peace talks, the Afghan Foreign Ministry on Wednesday confirmed of holding another round of dialogue with the insurgents after the Muslim fasting month of Ramzan. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif hailed the meeting as a breakthrough. The talks facilitated by the Pakistan leadership were also attended by representatives from US and China. Residents in Afghan capital Kabul were happy of the crucial step. But many locals were still skeptical about the success of the peace process and whether it can end the ongoing war in Afghanistan. Pakistan hosted the meeting in a tentative step towards ending more than 13 years of war in neighboring Afghanistan, where the Taliban have been trying to re-establish their hardline Islamist regime after it was toppled by US-led military invasion in 2001.
The Indian Supreme Court on Thursday transferred the investigation of the recruitment scam in the central Indian province of Madhya Pradesh to the federal police. The case is in connection with admissions which were allegedly carried out by officials and politicians after taking bribes from the candidates between 2008 and 2010.
The Apex Court transferred all the cases related to the Vyapam recruitment scandal to the Central Bureau of Investigation, including the suspicious deaths of people linked to the scam. The court also criticized the Madhya Pradesh High Court for its delay in deciding on whether to order a federal probe into the matter. It has also sent a notice to the federal government regarding the removal of Madhya Pradesh Governor Ram Naresh Yadav, who has been named as an accused in one of the cases.
The court has ordered CBI investigation into the entire Vyapam scam. All the cases have been referred to CBI. The question of monitoring as to whether High Court would monitor or Supreme Court would monitor is going to be taken up on the next date, which is 24th of July.
The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party said it welcomed the investigation.
We welcome this decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, and we hope that the investigations will be taken up on an expeditious basis so that whatever negative campaign has been going on will come to an end and the facts will come before the entire country.
Nearly 2,000 people have been arrested since 2013 in connection with the scandal in which thousands of people allegedly paid bribes in return for jobs on the state payroll or for places in educational institutes. More than 50 people, including accused, witnesses and whistleblowers linked to the case, were found dead under mysterious circumstances in the past 2 years. Many whistleblowers in the case have also complained that they are still receiving death threats.
Afghan Parliament has rejected the first female nominee to the country's Supreme Court. The move has come as a setback to the government's effort towards promoting women in high-profile positions.
Afghan lawmakers dismissed the first ever woman nominated for country's highest court of law. Anisa Rasooli garnered only 88 votes, 9 short of the required 97 in a ballot held on Wednesday. Her nomination had already sparked anger among conservatives in the male-dominated Afghan society. In a landmark move, Rasooli, who is the head of Afghan Women Judges Association and a juvenile court judge, was nominated by President Ashraf Ghani to join the Supreme Court's 9-member bench. Rasooli's candidature was part of the government's efforts to push more women into high-profile positions, which was in line with President Ghani's electoral promise of granting them rights ever since he assumed office last year. He has now been asked to nominate another person for the position. Women in Afghanistan lack basic rights, living under suppression ever since the Taliban ruled the country from 1996 to 2001.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir Prime Minister Chaudhry Abdul Majid has warned Islamabad against granting a provincial status to Gilgit-Baltistan. Pakistan had, in a blatant disregard to the UN resolution on Kashmir, proposed to convert the Himalayan region into its 5th province.
Any attempt to merge Gilgit-Baltistan into Pakistan is against the country's stand on the UN resolution on right to self-determination for the Kashmiris, POK Prime Minister Chaudhry Abdul Majid said on Wednesday. I call upon the Prime Minister of Pakistan to avoid taking any decision that does not fall in his jurisdiction. He cannot take this decision unless we, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, take it, Prime Minister Majid said. POK President Sardar Mohammad Yaqub Khan had also on Tuesday registered his protest against Islamabad's move. Khan had warned the Nawaz Sharif government to change its plan or face severe reaction similar to what led to the formation of Bangladesh in 1971. He also pointed out that the government in Islamabad was only given a temporary administrative control of the Himalayan region over 6 decades back. But Pakistan, which claims that Gilgit-Baltistan is a semi-autonomous region, has tried to integrate the region as its province ever since. This is in violation to the UN resolution that recognized the area as a disputed territory. The move has seen stern opposition from locals and nationalist leaders for a long time now.
गिलगित बल्तिस्तान जो है वो रियासत जम्मू कश्मीर का हिस्सा है, एक डिस्प्यूटेड टेरिटरी है। वहाँ तो सबसे पहले पाकिस्तान के अपनी लेजिटिमेसी पर क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए कि आया पाकिस्तान वहाँ किस कानून के तहत, किस मायदे के तहत वहाँ इस तरह के ड्रामे रचाता है।
Gilgit-Baltistan, which was earlier known as Northern Areas, was originally a part of India's princely state of Jammu and Kashmir until its occupation by Pakistan in 1947. Despite the UN resolution mandating the maintenance of status quo, Islamabad carved it out of POK as a separate administrative unit in 1970. Even though it is supposed to be a semi-autonomous, self-governing region, most of the real powers are held by a Gilgit-Baltistan Council in Islamabad, headed by the Pakistan Prime Minister. Despite not being constitutionally a part of Pakistan, the government in Islamabad had recently held an election there under Pakistani laws.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. BRICS nations make new development bank official at the summit. Indian Supreme Court transfers recruitment scam probe to CBI. And POK Prime Minister warns Islamabad against granting provincial status to Gilgit. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. It's the same time tomorrow. Good night.